Ladies and gentlemen, heels and heelettes, welcome back to another edition of Blunt Impact. I am your boy, Chris G, as always, with my co-host, Mary Jane in Blunt Form. We got a big episode to get into today. This was the episode that premiered on March 10th, 2020. There was a lot of interesting things happening throughout the night and a lot of stuff that happened in the night that are going to foreshadow for the next couple weeks. Before we get into the show, you know how we do, we're going to light this shit up, but I want you to light it up with me. So when I go 1, 2, 3, we are going to light it up together. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. So we start off with, almost burned my crib down. We start off with Josh Matthews and Don Callis on commentary as usual. The first match we had was Rhino defeating Madman Fulton. Now, once again, why is Rhino? And I like Rhino. I just don't want to see him every week. And why does Madman Fulton keep eating L's? I don't get it. He has the look. He might not have the in-ring ability, but you can work around that if you know how to work. Anyway, at the end of the match, OVE comes out and jumps Rhino. So who makes the save? Fucking Sabu. I didn't even know Sabu was still alive. For a guy that's suicidal, homicidal, genocidal, he lives a long fucking time. This match was way too slow. It was what it was. In 8 minutes, sorry, but that's about 5 minutes too long for me. Anyway, next we get another Chris Bay video package. He'll be debuting next week. I'm excited to see what he brings to Impact Wrestling. Hopefully it's something good. Next we have a backstage interview with Tessa Blanchard, the world's champion. And she's talking about, doesn't matter if Eddie Edwards wins or Michael Elgin wins the best out of 5 that's going to happen later in the night. She wants to have a match with the winner at Rebellion either way. So, looks like we're going to have a title match at Rebellion. Who's going to face Tessa? We'll find out. Next, Josh Matthews and Don Callis are discussing the recent hacks that have been happening on the production team and Twitter and all that shit. So, they have extra security around the production truck. Whoa. Next, we have the Rascals defeating the Desi Hit Squad in a good match. This match was too short in my opinion. It should have got some of the time from the Rhino match. It was a good back and forth match. Desi Hit Squad dominated in the beginning, then the Rascals started taking over. Then once Mahershala, that's his name, Mahershala, the big dude on Desi Hit Squad, I forget his name, Mahershala Shera. Say that shit 10 times fast. He basically came in, the Rascals used their speed to take over, and they get the win at the end of it. I actually like the Desi Hit Squad. I think they just need a little bit more seasoning. Like, Shera is super green, but he has the look, he has the intensity. Hopefully he can put it all together. The other dude, Raju, is pretty good. He's all, like, well-rounded, but, you know, we got to see what happens if they give him a little push. Good job on the Rascals, gaining back a little momentum. They've been on the losing end for the last few weeks. Next, we see RVD and Katie Forbes. And Katie Forbes is talking about, I want to cover up because these trolls. And then RVD's agreed, yeah, bro, the trolls. Like, you look fine, babe. You know, RVD being RVD. Then the Deaners, the fucking Deaners, the guys that we seen last week, coming straight out of cousin fuck Ohio. They try to give it like a backhanded compliment. So Joey Ryan steps in and he's like, I know you ain't going to talk to her like that. Like, you know what? You're going to talk to her like that? We going to see you in the ring next week. So the Deaners bounced it like, all right, bet, we see you. And then RVD's like, yeah. Oh, shit, you're talking about me and you. Yeah, you high motherfucker. What, you thought it was going to be him and Katie? Anyway, Kicks and Dicks make their debut next week. Next, we get a little Tennille Dashwood video package, basically the same one from last week, hyping up her return to the Impact Zone. Jordynne Grace issues an open challenge for her Impact Knockouts title. Madison Rain says she has another competitor. There was the other chick, Alizé, Miranda Alizé, whatever. It's not. It wasn't her. Her name was Lacey Ryan. I thought they were gonna say Lacey Evans. Shit bugged me out for a sec. But then again, I was high when I was watching. Jordan Grace retains her title, but this was a pretty solid match. Lacey got a lot of offense in. She's big. She's athletic. She looks mean. She gave Jordan a good match. Jordan came back at the end, overpowered her. She's still your champion. Hopefully this Lacey Ryan chick, she gets another chance. A little bit more time to shine because she looks like she can add something to that division. Grace, it's good what she's doing for now, but you can't be doing this 3-4 months later down the line. Like, you got to start showcasing her a little differently. I want to see the white meat baby face. I want to see her be taking names and kicking asses. You know what I mean? Every week. But saying it like that, don't just be like, I'm a fighting champion. It's open to anybody. Fuck that. I want to smack you, your mother, your father. I want to smack them all next week and retain my championship. That's a problem. Next, TJP and Falaba, the #1 contenders to the Impact World Tag Team Championships. They're talking in the back. Falaba actually talks. This is the first time I heard him talk in ever. Since I first started watching Impact, when he debuted fucking 4 years ago. He finally speaks. I didn't know he was Filipino. Him and TJP are Filipino, and they could be the first Filipino tag team champions. And now I think about it, they actually have a chance to beat the North. But if they beat the North for the tag team titles, I want the North to get them right back. Don't get me wrong. I like this tag team. I don't like them more than the North, but I like them. But not enough to be champions. Next, we have a backstage interview with Chris Sabin, who happens to be a backstage producer for Impact, and he's going to be the special referee for a ladder match. It's called the King of the Mountain match. We'll get into more details about that when we start getting up to that event, because that fucking match is confusing. It's like calculus and physics and trying to do that shit with fucking counting beats. It's tough. Brillo pad tough. But anyway, he starts talking about home is where the heart is, so that's why he's back with Impact, because he started with TNA, and then Moose comes out. Again, of course, and he starts talking about how stupid the match is, where Chris Sabin actually agrees with him. Moose declares himself a participant in the match. The match will be for the World Championship, depending, I don't know who's going to be champion. But Moose is going to be in it, and he might actually win. I guess we'll find out. Next, we just get highlights of the Best Out of 5 series up to this point between Michael Elgin and Eddie Edwards. That's going to be the main event. Next, which was pretty funny, was Taya Valkyrie in the bar, dressed like she just came out of a funeral, and she's crying her heart out, sobbing, getting lit. The bartender's just like, this bitch crazy. But then Rosemary pops out. Out of nowhere. She might have been chilling under the bar. Who knows? Starts convincing Taya that now that they've both lost everything, they're free to do whatever they want. She starts agreeing. They're probably kicking back shots of tequila right now. I hope they get an Uber home. Next, we have what was supposed to be a handicap match of the Jumpin' Jabronis, or whatever they're calling themselves now, the Swingin' Disco Bulls. Johnny Swinger and Disco Inferno, aka Glenn Gilberto, and Willie Mack, right? At first, Willie Mack holding his own. He starts getting into some trouble because these old dudes bringing out the gimmicks, the brass knucks, stack of quarters, potatoes in a sock. But out of nowhere, Ace Austin comes out and says he wants to tag with the Mac. So he becomes his tag partner. The Mac tags in. Shit really got turned up. That's where the match finally got a little decent. They got the W. The Mac and Ace Austin. Who would have thought? I'm a little surprised to see where that goes. Next, backstage, we have Jessica Havoc and Su Yung still fighting. Eventually, Su Yung chokes Havoc out with the rope, and throws her in a coffin. See you later. Next, we get another gut check promo. It's basically Johnny Bravo yelling at the dudes, telling them how they suck and they're not worthy. Next, we get another glitch from the ICU, and it basically says, they're gonna reveal themselves next week, or themselves. I don't know. I'm excited, and I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna fuck it up. And I could be wrong. Hopefully, I'm pleasantly surprised. Then we have the main event, the final match. Winner goes to Rebellion against Tessa Blanchard for the World's Championship. Eddie Edwards versus Michael Elgin. They started off hot right from the beginning. Michael Elgin dominated early. Then they started to trade back and forth a little bit. This match got a lot of time. It was very well paced. Towards the end, they started like bringing out the old, what they usually do. This match would have been my favorite match of the series, if not for the finish. In the finish, Eddie Edwards taps out, but he taps out at the same time that he has Michael Elgin's shoulders on the mat for a 3 count. So when the ref counts 3, Eddie Edwards also taps. There was a whole thing. There was a ref bump. Another ref was always on standby for the main events, apparently, so he came down. It was a false finish spot. It was a really good spot. I think people should watch this. Besides the finish, it was actually a really good match. The second ref said that he seen Eddie Edwards tap. The first ref counted to 3. Nobody knew what was going on. So the president, the guy who runs the place, Scott D'Amore, comes out, and he's talking to a third ref that comes out, and they're all trying to figure it out. But instead, Tessa Blanchard, the world's champion, comes out and says, I have a solution. I'll fight both of y'all motherfuckers. I'm paraphrasing, of course. So we have no winner. Kind of messed it up. I kind of dig it, but I am a little disappointed at the same time. I don't know how to feel about it. If a best of series, I hate when it comes to a draw. Like, why? Why can't just one man get the upper hand? You know what I mean? Or a woman. But in this case, a triple threat isn't really that bad for Rebellion. We'll see how it goes. I predict it's a triple threat, so Elgin or Edwards could take the pin for either man. Tessa doesn't look weak. She never really loses the belt, but she loses the belt. And I dig it. Kind of disappointed I didn't get to see the North this episode. Also, where the fuck is Sami Callihan? Maybe that's him? The ICU glitch? I hope so. I wouldn't be disappointed. All in all, it was a decent episode of Impact, and I'm intrigued to see what happens next week. Subscribe to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel if you haven't already. What the fuck are you waiting for? You can follow me at check out the latest episode of Joints and Jabronis. Always a good time. I am your boy Chris G. For my co-host Mary Jane. We'll see you next time.